Welcome to this lesson on Azure Resource Manager. In Azure, all resource deployments, manual or template-based, go through ARM, except for the classic deployments, which are non-ARM based and not covered in this course. Every Azure resource has a resource ID. As you can see, this resource ID follows the parent-child relationship structure. So in this case, at the top level, we have the subscription starting with AF. Below the subscription, we have the resource groups. In this case, the resource group is named VNets. And below the resource group VNets, we have resource providers, in this case Microsoft Network. And this provider offers resources, in this case virtual networks. And there we reference a virtual network named VNet1. This is nice and easy to understand, but can you guess a problem? Yes, correct. This will make moving resources difficult because these resource IDs are widely used, for instance, by applications we deploy. We will deal further with this problem on the next page. In Azure, we also have resource tags that we can attach to most resources. The tags are not inherited, but in the section on Azure Policy we learn that we can use a policy with a modify effect to copy resource tags from the resource group to the actual resource. Last but not least, we will discuss ARM templates. Of course, every cloud platform has its template language, and I think Azure's is extremely well designed, so a hat tip for that. Concerning the challenge of moving a resource, we want to dedicate a separate page. Microsoft has an extensive documentation about this, but for the exam it is sufficient to remember the simple case of moving a VM. First of all, you cannot move a resource to a different tenant, only to a different subscription under the same tenant. Second, when you move a resource, you must also move its dependent resources. Third, you must remove any logs you may have. What happens when you move a resource is that the resource will be recreated and receive a new resource ID. Here I compiled a table for illustrative purposes that shows what common objects can and cannot be moved. To memorize this, I would suggest to focus on what cannot be moved. For instance, we cannot move public IPs, load balancers, application gateways, and express route circuits, as well as Azure Container Instances or Kubernetes Service. Also, we cannot move instant restore points created by Azure Backup, so we have to delete these first. We will conclude this lesson with a focus on quotas and limits. Every now and then we can expect to hit some resource limit. You can check your usage limits using the given commands, for instance, azvm usage list, passing in the location parameter. There's also a graphical way when you navigate to the subscription plate using a portal. Although Azure is not so much about memorizing numbers than AWS, there's still a number you should memorize, and this is the tags per resource limit. In this case, the limit is 50, but was 15 some time ago. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.